Alright, hello everybody. How's it going? How's everybody doing? Unexpected stream for a Friday. I decided I wanted to try to switch things up a little bit, so I said, hey, stream on a Friday. So yeah, if you guys are new to YouTube streams, this is where it kind of all started in the beginning. So I did like 1 or 2 streams on YouTube in the beginning to start, and then I had moved everything over to Twitch. So probably for the past month, maybe a little more than that, I had been streaming over on Twitch. It had been going really well, but I was just curious. I wanted to try to bring things back to YouTube for a little bit and see how they did as well. So for now on, I'll be streaming on YouTube. So yeah, for anybody new who just discovered the stream through YouTube recommending it, welcome. For everybody that's been hanging out in the Discord or people that have been hanging out at the streams for a while now, thanks for stopping by and making the transition back over to YouTube. But yeah, I'm glad to have you guys here. Yeah, so for today I'm going to be reading really only one story for the channel, but it's rather long. It's a Halloween themed story, so I thought, hey, it'd be a good idea to do a stream for it so you guys could hang out and listen and everything, so thought it would be entertaining. Other exciting news for the channel, I'm getting memberships and everything set up as well, so very similar to what I had over on Twitch with different emotes and everything like that, and then loyalty badges as well. Those will be set up on YouTube shortly after they get approved, so probably a day or two. So you guys can subscribe to that if you would like, and then got like text to speech set up on donations and all that stuff too, so feel free to do that. But yeah, no worries, Styles, everything will be set up shortly. Demon Freak said we stick him back on YouTube or switch it up sometimes. I think for the next couple streams it'll be on YouTube. I'm just curious to see how it'll do, and then after that kind of go from there. So I want to look back to see if there's any way I can gift subs on YouTube, because everybody that was previously subbed on Twitch, I would want to gift them a sub. If not, I can send them like a refund over or something. But yeah, I'll look into see if you can gift subs on YouTube. I'm not sure if you can or not. Let's see. So yeah, what's going on, everybody? Feel free to ask some questions. We'll kind of hang out for a minute, and then I'll get into the story. Hey, what's going on, Eugene? Pretty good. Thomas Newman, yo, Mr. Creeps just had surgery. Thank you for all your videos. They're helping me recover by passing time. Hey, I'm glad they help. Hope you feel better as you recover and everything too. Oh god, it's FBI. Mr. Creeps coffee cup. Have to get some coffee cups going too. Samurai, first time streaming? No, I've actually been streaming for maybe like a month or two now. I would say a month. Most of it's been over on Twitch, but yeah, it's on YouTube now, so if you're new to it, feel free to stop by. Pretty consistently, I've been streaming Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2 to 4, and then maybe one other day thrown in there that's just kind of random, like today. So yeah. Demon Freaks, also Miss Creeps. Can you mod my other account? Yeah, I can add you after the stream's all done. Snapple Smith, this is my first stream. This is gonna be good. Hey, I hope you enjoy it. Blue Hernandez, what's going on, Mr. Creeps? Hey, what's going on, man? Freeze Dice is in the building. I see Turtle Pro plays. Mew Plant, so that's Werewolf. Yep. Okay, I see you switching between 2 accounts. Yeah, I'll have to get you set up. Styles, mod me too while you're at it. Just don't ban me for being annoying. I wouldn't ban you. Dash Gamer, thank you for making Creepypasta videos. They are very interesting and entertaining. Hey, I'm glad you like them. But yeah, gonna be doing a story today. This one's written by Kyle Harrison. I've done a ton of stories on his channel. It's Halloween themed. It's called Full Moon Flights. Should be pretty good. But yeah, for this channel too, going forward, I plan to post more gaming content, not just streams, but like actual clipped videos. A lot of them may be pulled from streams, but I want to post gaming content on this channel more going forward. So I've been playing like a ton of Among Us on the streams and everything too, so it'd be cool to get one of those clipped up and have it look good in like video format. Sir Turd the Third, like your name. I didn't know the streams were on Twitch for a bit. Thought you just stopped with them for a bit. Yeah, no, I've been going on Twitch for a little bit, and Yeah, I'm gonna try them on YouTube, but hey, I'm glad you're back after that hiatus, I guess. Demon Freak, speaking of, still need to order G Fuel. You gotta get some G Fuel. I'm feeling when I get banned from the Mr. Creeps Discord, I'm sorry. Uh-oh, Pickle Gang. This is where Pickle Gang originated on the good old YouTube days. And now we're back with a vengeance. Jessica Dubois. Hey, I hope you're having a wonderful day, Mr. Creeps. Love your voice. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Jessica. Bryce, your stories helped me through my withdrawals. 9 months clean. Thank you, Mr. Creeps. Hey, that's awesome, man. Keep it up. Dash Gamer, you should stream Minecraft on here. Yeah, no, I've talked about it for a minute, but I want to get a server set up. I've just been, once October is kind of overall more time, the 2 stories a day have been pretty time consuming, so yeah, it'll be good once it's all done, and then I can get a lot of that stuff set up. Soul Taker said, love the videos, keep it up, man. Hey, appreciate it. But cool. Yeah, the story today is rather long, pretty close to, I think it's like 6,000 words, should be around 40 or 50 minutes, but yeah, Styles, Mr. Creeps, you're going to be reading the chat more or less here. Pretty similar to Twitch, I mean, just kind of back and forth. A lot of these, that's why I like these narration streams, because I feel like, I don't know, like once I get reading, obviously it's not a ton of interaction, but taking breaks and stuff, I feel like it's more of just kind of hanging out than a lot of times, like during gaming streams, like you get focused in on the game, so there may not be as much interaction. But cool. Yeah, let's get into this stuff. Like Styles says, my birthday is coming up, and it might be on Halloween, so that's pretty good. A big Halloween birthday. Pretty appropriate, I would say. Cool, let me get this stuff set up. Sebastian says, when did you start with YouTube? I think I made my channel 2 years ago? Something like that. Yeah, I know, Styles, it is kind of weird for me too not being on Twitch. I'm not used to it. But who knows, after a decent amount of streams we'll probably get back into it and it'll seem normal again. But cool, okay, I'm gonna do this story. Cut the tunes, get the fireplace rolling. A little bit of crackle in the background. And then we should be good to go. Let me check something real quick. Forgot to post this out on the Twitter. Give her a try though. How's everybody doing today though? Styles is trying the burp emoji. It's under review right now, so it should be set up pretty soon. I think like in a day, it should be good to go. Which is sad. Because the burp emoji is like what does it. It won't be the same without the burp emoji. Alright, just a sec. Let me try this real quick. Yeah, the entire stream is now sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, so go check out the game. Got the ambient set. We are rock and rolling. Just gotta do one more thing. Dr. Plague, my day's been pretty good. It's kind of same old. Been doing a couple videos so far today, and then gonna do some more. So, but no, it's been a good day. Just kind of hanging out for the most part, and I always enjoy being able to stream and everything too. It's always fun. How's your day going? You plan, how long does it take to get a video usually? All of it kind of depends on the story length. So that's always a thing, but I mean, editing and everything too, it's not usually probably the longest out of everything is doing the thumbnail. Trying to make sure it looks really nice. But I don't know, kind of depends. couple hours, I would say. Depending if it's like a really long story. If it's a shorter story, I would say a couple hours. Force feed you KFC. It's terrifying. Alright. One more thing and then we should be set. Let me do, just gotta get this posted. Alright. I think we should be all set. Cool. Alright guys. Let's get this story on a roll. So yeah, the story is called Full Moon Flights, Halloween themed. Should be pretty good. It's by Kyle Harrison. I've done a ton of stories on the channel by him. Yeah, style says no swears. I swear I won't. I swear there will be no swears. Say a bad word, you won't do it. Oh, and then we'll have to carry over the intro. I didn't do it today just because it's kind of different on YouTube. But yeah, make song suggestions, and then at each stream I'll intro by kind of semi-singing, talking the song. So yeah, feel free to make suggestions. I think first day was... What was the first day? Can't even remember what it was. Never Gonna Give You Up, the Rick Ashley song. And then the second day was Take On Me. So I think there were a couple of... All-Star was one. There's a couple other ones. But yeah, feel free to say some stuff, it'd be cool. Pickle Army. We're in trouble. Okay. So yeah, let's get into this story with you guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Gonna do some testing right now with the audio real quick. Gotta think of a title for this story. Scary Story. That's a good title. Testing, 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 testing. Testing, testing, testing. Alright, we're ready to roll. Got the fireplace cooking. We should be good. Oh, before I start, mic audio sound okay for you guys? Is it too loud, too quiet? Does it sound pretty nice? I think it's pretty good. Roundabout, yes. Sounds good? Cool. Roundabout. Cool. Alright, sweet. Last year, Bloody Disgusting gave it 4 out of 5 screams. Fangoria touted it as the most original haunted house concept on the market. But you shouldn't believe the reviews. No, really don't. Full Moon Flights is not what it seems. According to the brochure, they are a modern haunted house for fans of fear, a departure from the ordinary and a journey into the unknown where nightmares are inescapable. We don't allow guests to book flights. Instead, we let those who have the courage and curiosity to come find us. The blurb read. Everything about it screamed a publicity stunt to me. Publicity. 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 We let those who have the courage and curiosity to come find us. Publicity. It's a new word. Those who have the courage and curiosity to come find us. The blurb read. Everything about it screamed a publicity stunt to me. A private jetliner filled with costumed actors and jump scares designed to give people an adrenaline rush all night long. The latest event was this Halloween near me, and since I couldn't think of a better way to spend the evening, I decided to take a drive out to the provided And since I couldn't think of a better way to spend the evening, this Halloween near me. And since I couldn't think of a better way to spend the evening, provided this Halloween near me. And since I couldn't think of a better way to spend the evening, I decided to take a drive out to the provided coordinates where the plane was said to land. The departure time was scheduled for precisely 12:01 a.m., so I got there early, intent on documenting each and every aspect of the experience. Besides myself, there were about 6 other cars parked at an old airstrip, a fitting place for the spooky flight to land. I thought as I looked about the dilapidated buildings. No one had used this place in a very long time, if ever. I grabbed my cell and small backpack filled with emergency. No one had used this place in a very long time, if ever. Oh gosh. Styles says no more dudes. Hey, there's still dudes. I have dudes set up on. It's not for follows, unfortunately. Dudes are set up for, I think, like all like super chats and donations. So yeah, that's the only downside of this. No follow dudes. I could turn on dudes for like subscribers or something, but it might be a little bit higher. Maybe try it though next time. No one had used this place in a very long time, if ever. No one had used this place in a very long time, if ever. I lost my spot. Okay, there we go. No one had used this place in a very long time, if ever. I grabbed my cell and small backpack filled with emergency supplies and gear. Everything that I thought I would need for the night. But then from the looks of some of the other patrons' gear, it seemed I was the one underprepared. First time, a woman wearing a Freddy Krueger shirt asked if she offered me a small capsule. First time. It seemed I was the one underprepared. First time, a woman wearing a Freddy Krueger shirt asked as she offered me a small capsule. Yeah, what's this for? I asked. Helps keep your head in the game. For a little while anyway. She said as she stared up at the sky. Guess they want to be fashionably late, like usual. How many times have you been a passenger? I asked. I remembered reading that some claimed the event had staff hidden among the guests to try and boost interest, so everything she told me I took with a grain of salt at first. 5 times, maybe 6. It's a heck of a ride, I'll tell you what. She answered as she extended her hand and added, I'm Isabella. It's nice to meet you. Max, and same here. When are they supposed to arrive? I asked, noticing the other passengers were getting antsy. I couldn't see any signs of a plane in the sky and wondered what sort of showy entrance the I couldn't see any signs of a plane in... Yeah, I feel like a lot of the last videos, there's always like dudes in the background. Gotta get the dudes going. I couldn't see any signs of a plane. Dude. Yeah, no, I'm surprised Jaguars isn't here. I asked, noticing the other passengers were getting antsy. I couldn't see any signs of a plane in the sky, and wondered what sort of showy entrance the proprietors had in mind to dazzle us. Don't know. These things are unpredictable. She lit a smoke and I wandered toward the other passengers. She tried to sell you one of the pills too, huh? A man asked as I looked down at the... She tried to... For the other passengers. She tried to sell you one of the pills too, huh? A man asked as I looked down at my palm where the red and white tablet was at. Is it some kind of hallucinogenic? I whispered. I don't know, mate, but I personally wouldn't risk it. This night is probably going to be as crazy enough as it is, he told me. You came all the way from around the world just for this? I asked. He didn't respond, but his eyes showed a story of pain and heartache. He was searching for something, but wouldn't dare disclose what. The others were not as fascinating. 2 twins from Manchester were here for a birthday present to each other, and a couple of young reporters finished up our group. Considering the price of tickets for the event, I knew that they would get their money worth. Oh. What's going on, Aiden? Finished up our group. Considering the price of tickets for the event, finished up our group. Considering the price of tickets for the event, I knew that to get their money worth, they all expected an extreme fright. 20 minutes passed and the flight still hadn't arrived, so the taller twin, Tanya, started to make a fuss. "This is so unprofessional," she said as she walked toward the wide hangar bay. I gathered she was hoping to find someone to complain to, and it was the first time that I noticed we were the only ones here. I read online the flights were always packed to the gills, so why were there only 6 of us? "What do you suppose is going on?" Isabella asked. She wasn't as chatty either. In fact, the whole group seemed on edge as we followed Tanya to the other side of the airfield. Even the wind had stopped blowing. Something about the night just suddenly seemed more sinister. As we turned to go back toward where we had parked, a sharp burst of air pierced the darkness and all of us felt like it nearly A sharp burst of air. Yeah, I have no idea why I read more comments here. It's like no different, like as far as like interface wise. I don't know why I do. Can Mr. Creeps go yeehaw? It'd be large funny. Yeehaw. A very subdued yeehaw. Yeehaw. A sharp burst of air. It's like an ASMR yeehaw. A sharp burst of air pierced the darkness and all of us felt. I don't want to fully commit to it. As we turned to go back toward where we had parked. As we turned to go back toward where we had parked, a sharp burst of air pierced the darkness and all of us felt it nearly knock us down. Tom, the Australian, lost his hat and actually tumbled over as I looked up and saw the large passenger plane seemingly appear out of nowhere. It was about the size of a Delta airline jetliner. As I looked up and saw the large passenger plane seemingly appear out of nowhere. Yeehaw. As I looked up and saw the large passenger plane seemingly appear out of nowhere. It was about the size of a Delta airline jetliner, with at least the capacity for 150 passengers or more, and painted entirely black to match the dark sky. A rumble of thunder crackled across the backdrop of the plane, as I noted that there were only a few windows on only one entrance, further showing that they intended for you to have an immersive experience once on board. I knew it hadn't been there moments ago, and now all of a sudden it had landed. The ramp to the first-class seating area was already lowered, as though they had been the ones waiting for us rather than the other way around. Isabella gave me a nudge and said nervously, "I told you they know how to make an entrance." I nodded and grabbed my things heading toward the plane, as I spotted one of the stewardesses gathering luggage from the other passengers. Tom was the first in line, eager to be aboard. "Welcome back, Mr. Bradley. Always a pleasure to have you flying with us," a pale blonde employee said. Her face looked so perfect, I half thought that she was a robotic of some kind, so pristine and exact. Tom became red in the face, apparently not anticipating that they would give away his apparent frequent flyer status, and then dashed up the steps to find a seat before any of us had a chance to open a conversation about it. "Do you have your tickets?" the stewardess asked, focusing on the twins next. Riley, the shorter one, took them out of her pocket and both of them eagerly entered without much fanfare. I was next. "Welcome back, Mr. Declan. I see you came prepared this time," the stewardess said as I took out my ticket. I gave her a look of confusion. "This is my first time," I told her. The stewardess didn't blink as she ripped the ticket and told me, "Well, of course it is. Yes, I must have confused you with someone else." Oopsie daisy. Someone else. She goofed. Okay. Someone else. Someone else. Okay, I lost my spot there. Oh, we got a super chat. Hey, there's the dude. I was wondering if it was, I think it's delayed for some reason. Hey, King Lopez, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the $1.99. Are chickens considered animals or birds? Yeah, I think Dr. Werewolf has a pretty good explanation for that. Chickens are animals, birds, and reptiles. It's a trifecta. They're tough to beat. Yeah, I would say all of the above. I think so. And the Doot returns. The Doot is back. I wanted to have it set up. I have to mess with it. That Super Chat can do text to speech. For some reason, donations, I guess it's different. Donations are, I have it set up for text to speak, but I couldn't get it set up for Super Chat for some reason, so I gotta mess with it. So if you do want to donate or whatever, or you want to Super Chat, you want to do text to speak, I think the link's in the description. But yeah. Alright, let me see. Of course it is. Yes, I must have confused you with someone else. Okay, he's trying to board the plane. Oh, burp. Oh, we don't have the burp emojis. Only if. Soon we will have burp emoji. Bonk. That one's for you, Jaguars. Well, of course it is. Yes, I must have confused you with someone else. I like your funny words, Magic Man. Yeah, it's a burp bonk. Well, of course it is. Yes, I must have confused you with someone else. Well, of course it is. Yes, I must have confused you with someone else. I didn't bother asking any other questions, as I figured it was probably part of the show, and boarded the plane as well. At the front, before the first-class cabin area, two more blonde stewardesses that looked almost identical to the one I had seen outside greeted me outside of the pilot's chambers and offered me a warm drink, which resembled some kind of raspberry tonic. Before takeoff, we recommend all passengers drink this mixture. It will prevent any sort of nausea or displacement, the first woman told me. I knew it was likely they wouldn't let me board unless I downed the concoction, so I downed it hurriedly, and then pushed open the curtains to look at the interior of the cabin. Much to my surprise, it looked like an ordinary jetliner, with rows of compartments above the seats for luggage, and about 5 seats on either side of the aisle, most of which were empty. I checked my stub to see where I was supposed to seat. Economy row C, seat 3. The Aussie was the only one of us in first class, and I almost envied his deep pockets, wondering if his experience would be entirely different from our own. Back in economy, I immediately felt a bit more cramped and claustrophobic, especially due to the dim lighting. Was that for aesthetics, I wondered, as I moved to my seat and noted I was near a window that appeared to be sealed shut. A moment later, an Asian businessman appeared from the curtain and nodded, sitting down next to me. "Did you get here late?" I asked, not recalling him in the crowd outside. He responded in his native tongue and took the seat beside me, nervously fidgeting with his wedding ring, as more passengers boarded. "Bloody hell, where are all these people coming from?" I asked, noticing a whole family pass us to go to third class. I reached over to my window to try and see if maybe a large group... Yeah, Styles caught on. I hope you added the name to Mr. Creeps Gaming. Yeah, I don't know if you can set commands in this, Demon Freak. Or, I gotta make your other account a mod. I'll just... Dr. Werewolf, I don't know if you can set commands in this one. I can look into it, though. Oh no, Styles is on it. Come on, garlic bread. Hey, Ren H, how's it going? How dare you? I reached over to my window. How dare you? I asked, noticing a whole family pass us to go to third class. I reached over to my window to try and see if maybe a large group had shown up at the last minute. But then Isabella reached from the row behind me and kept me from opening it. "I wouldn't do that if I were you," she warned. I snatched my hand away, tired of her games, and pulled the shutter on the window up anyway, But the airfield didn't look familiar anymore. Instead, as though it... Well said, I am 3 months behind on my mystery groups backlog and trying to listen to 5 a day. That's a lot. But hey, I applaud you. We got a Jaguars in the building. We got a bonk bonk. Instead, as though... Got a bonk bonk in the house. But anyway. But the airfield didn't look familiar anymore. Instead, it seemed as though we were landed somewhere in a busy city district, like Hong Kong or Seoul. Nowhere near the same rustic countryside of Midwest America. What the? I whispered as Illabella. I whispered at rustic countryside of Midwest America. What the? I whispered my thing. What the? What the? Nowhere near the same rustic countryside of Midwest America. What the? I whispered as I can't say Isabella. Nowhere near the same rustic countryside of Midwest America. What the? I whispered as Isabella shut it back. We're about to take off and trust me, you want these closed. She warned again. This time, I decided to listen. Another stewardess appeared near the front of the cabin and grabbed a small speaker connected to the compartment beside her to give us a few guidelines. I couldn't help but to notice now the plane was seemingly packed full of people. Good evening. On behalf of all of us here at Full Moon Flights, we want to thank you again for joining us on this amazing... A lot of pronunciation errors. Good evening. On behalf of all of us here at Full Moon Flights... Good evening. On behalf of all of us here at Full Moon Flights, we want to thank you again for joining us on this amazing journey. The captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign at this time, as we go over a few instructions in the event of an emergency. She said in a sing-song voice. Honestly, she seemed a bit too chipper given the information she next presented. As you might have noticed during your arrival, there are no emergency exits or equipment on board the flight. We have optimized the cabin to be entirely for the experience into the unknown. That being said, should we encounter any unanticipated turbulence, we ask all passengers to remain seated. The safest bet for us to reach our destination will be your full cooperation in these circumstances. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, especially how dangerous it sounded. I heard one man behind me cuss profusely. As the stewardess next explained, there was no emergency oxygen on the airliner either. Rest assured that what you will be dealing with tonight will take your breath away, but if you can face it, you will get to your destination as intended, she said as she finished her announcement, and then disappeared to the front of the plane. Something about the way she spoke made me feel very uneasy. Her choice of words felt intentionally vague. A clamor of gossip stirred as we all wondered what the heck we had signed up for. What did we sign up for? Jaguar said, I checked Twitch and said, oh yeah, he said, where's the stream at? Yeah, I think I'm going to be streaming on YouTube for the next couple times. I just want to see how it does in comparison. So yeah, going forward it'll be over on YouTube. And then like I mentioned earlier too, I'll be uploading gaming content in the future. But yeah, I think for the next stream, if I have time to do one this weekend too, may try to do an Among Us stream. So yeah, if you guys haven't joined the Discord or if anybody here is new, feel free to join. And then usually we'll get, lobby fills up pretty quick, but play with different members of the Discord. So if you want to play, join the Discord, it'll be fun. What did we sign up for? I don't know, I don't even know. Okay, let's continue for... Oh, burp number 2. That's 2 on board. A clamor of gossip stirred as we all wondered
what the heck we had signed up for.
Two burps. Two burps. We got two burps in the house.
A clamor of gossip stirred as we all wondered what the heck we had signed up for. This must be just to get us nervous, a younger girl said a few rows up. I heard they intentionally make it this intense before the show starts, another man said. It made me a little calmer to hear these rumors swirl about, but I still had no idea what to expect. Behind me, Isabella squeezed my shoulder and muttered, "Buckle up, Max." I obeyed her and listened as a new voice came over the intercom. This one was gruff and sounded distorted, almost inhuman. "This is your captain speaking. We are T-minus 3 minutes to take off." I'm not sure why, but the succinct way he spoke, coupled with the way my stomach was twisting into a knot, made me very uneasy. There was no turning back, no escape, I realized. And then the plane began to move. Instinctively, I gripped the seat cushion as I felt the engines begin to roar, and the plane shake and pick up speed. The Asian businessman next to me did the same, closing his eyes and seemingly chanting. Was he praying? I could hear the wheels skid against the runway, and the noise grow louder as I was pushed into the seat a bit by the thrust of the engines. And then we began to ascend. The roar got louder as I looked about at...
I tried to talk and nothing came out.
What kind of Gatorade? Bit by the thrust of the engines. And then we began to ascend. The roar got louder as I looked about at some of the other passengers to see their reaction. Some were grabbing bags to puke in, clearly new flyers, while others were excitedly counting the seconds as we kept going higher. I wasn't sure which category I fit in, but I was ready for the flight to stop its rush into the heavens. The plane shook again as we reached what I assumed was highest altitude, and the light above my seat told me that I could move above the cabin freely. Immediately, I turned to Isabella to get some clear understanding of what to expect, only to find that she had already unbuckled and left to the third-class cabin. I sighed in frustration, trying to get the attention of a stewardess, but the women were now standing toward the front, like statues, unblinking and looking on toward us. It was bizarre, but exactly what I expected for this sort of thing. I took a few breaths, then I calmed down, reminding myself that I should be trying to enjoy the experience, as I saw the curtain behind the stewardess open, and a woman wearing a geisha dress and kabuki mask enter, dancing amid the aisle toward my row. Immediately, the Asian man next to me tensed up. I saw his face and had a look of panic. Was this someone that he knew? Had the flight's personnel secretly allowed them to board? Was he in danger? The woman got closer and then bowed respectfully toward me, clearly waiting to sit beside the businessman. I'm not sure why, but I felt obliged to let her in, and moved out toward the aisle. The businessman started to shout something in alarm and tried to unbuckle, and then the woman straddled his lap. It almost looked like she wanted to make out with him, as I watched her gently touch his face. He started to shout louder, and I watched as the woman leaned in for a kiss. Someone squeezed my shoulder again, and I turned to see Isabella standing there. "Come with me," she ordered. I half wanted to see what would happen to the man that I was sitting beside, but still I obeyed. Clearly she knew more about this flight than me.
Oh, that's interesting. What's going on? Okay, I think for this story I can kind of feel like it's got to do something where for each individual passenger, the flight picks out like their greatest fears or something like that. That's what I think it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be like anything like that. That's just where it seems like it's going with. It's gonna be like personalized fears for everybody, and like the plane just keeps going and going and going.
Clearly she knew more about this flight than me.
That's my idea. Oh yeah, is everybody excited for Halloween? What are you guys gonna be? I saw Styles is gonna be Mr. Creeps, which I did give him permission. Hey, can you do a Halloween special? I actually do have something planned for Halloween. It might be along the lines of the Mr. Creeps origin story, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, it'll be a special. So yeah, stay tuned for that. It'll be pretty good.
Clearly she knew more about this flight than me.
Okay. Bigfoot is gonna be Bigfoot. How does one dress up as Mr. Creeps? I don't know. The top hat.
But still, I obeyed. Clearly she knew more about this flight than me. As we entered third class, I found myself taking a moment to adjust to the darkness in the room. There weren't any windows back here, and the only dim lighting was coming from the screens on the back of each of the seats. Miniature flat-screen televisions that all of the passengers were glued to like zombies. "Oh, what is this?" I whispered, worried that our voices would break some of them from a trance. I believe they're doing... I believe...
What is going on?
I whispered, worried that our voices would break some of them from a trance. I believe they're doing something to them. Brainwashing or something. I'm not sure. I was hoping you could help me get into the luggage compartment overhead, she said as we made it to the middle of the aisle. I noticed that the expressions on the people's faces seemed contorted with terror or dread, as though whatever they were watching were driving them mad. Sure, but before I do that, you need to be honest with me. Why are you really here? I asked. Isabella bit her lip and glanced toward the door. We don't have time for that. The stewardesses will be here any moment. So, can you help me break this open or not? I huffed and I looked at the lock, realizing that I actually did have something that could open it up. Yeah, sure. Let me go back to my luggage. Isabella told me to hurry as I returned to economy class and saw these stewardesses were now removing something from the seat near me. It looked like the shriveled up remains of the businessman. It looked like a corpse. Mr. DeClan, your in-flight movie is about to start, the first stewardess said, as I noticed that now there was a mini TV in front of my seat as well. Had that always been there? What happened to the man sitting beside me? I asked. I now noticed there seemed to be red dark stains on the seat. Blood. It's best if you keep your journey to yourself and not worry about others, the stewardess said with a pleasant smile. She stood there, waiting for me to comply with her instructions. Hesitantly, I sat down and put on my headphones. Everything about this was beginning to grow increasingly stranger and stranger. Not what I had signed up for at all. As I activated the screen in front of me, a burst of white noise pierced my ear. A burst of white for it all. As I activated the screen in front of me, a burst of white noise pierced my ears and I nearly knocked the headphones off. And then crashing waves filled the screen and I froze. What I was seeing didn't seem possible. It was showing me memories of my time as a child near the beach. Memories that I'd never shared with anyone. I watched in amazement as I saw my own mother in the waves. This was the moment that she had taken her own life, I thought. A secret that I had wanted to take to my grave. How could this flight know? The noise got louder as I heard whispers amid the waves. Something was speaking to me, telling me its own secrets. Chills ran down my spine as every moment played out exactly as I'd remembered it. My mother was just walking into the water, unconcerned with my cries as the waves crashed over her body. The whispers got louder. It sounded just like her. Join me, it croaked. And then, shots rang out amid the cabin. I jolted back to reality and saw Tom entering economy class waving a pistol about. The stewardess was his victim. Her lifeless body sprawled on the aisle in front of me. Except, there was no blood. She just looked like a mannequin now. What the heck, man? I shouted, standing up as he neared my seat. Don't let him harvest you, Max. You're too good for that. We can make it through this together. But you have to help me, you hear? He said. Other passengers were screaming as he waved the gun around, warning them to stay back. What is wrong with you? They're bloody frightened. Oh, I messed up. Cat gang. They're bloody frightened. It's all a dream. He just fell asleep on the plane, the gun around, warning them to stay back. What is wrong with you? They're all bloody frightened of you, I shouted. That's exactly what they want you to think. Not take them to that stupid chick you talked to earlier. The frequent Not take them. Frightened of you, I shouted. That's exactly what they want you to think. Now take me to that stupid chick you talked to earlier, he ordered. I raised my hands up defensively, and we walked together toward third class. Look, whatever you think this is, it's not. These are just actors, I told him as we entered the dark room. Even when I said that, I didn't fully believe it. Something deep in the pit of my
Hey, burp number. We are super burpy today. Burp number 3.
Something deep entered the dark room. Even when I said that, I didn't fully believe it. Something deep in the pit of my stomach told me that none of this was normal. I planned to use the sudden shift in light to take advantage of him, but I never made it that far. Instead, the entire plane started to shake due to turbulence, and he lost the gun. It slid across the floor as he fell on me, and I shouted to Isabella to find it. She obeyed, and I turned to punch Tom straight in the jaw, as the lights in the cabin began to flicker. And then all of the passengers around us started to convulse and go into shock, seemingly being given a stroke due to the sudden loss of power. Amid the chaos, somehow Isabella found the weapon and aimed it toward me. Tom had already produced a knife, and I shouted for her to shoot him. Instead, she aimed at the luggage compartment over our heads. A single bullet caused the lock to blast off, and several small bags fell, causing Tom's knife to become lodged in my shoulder.
Oh, break time. Just a second, guys. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Had to mute my mic for a sec.
Causing Tom's knife to become lodged in my shoulder. Causing Tom's knife to become lodged in my shoulder.
Alright, let's keep this going.
Single bullet caused the lock to blast off, and several small bags fell.
Oops, I lost my spot.
Single bullet caused the lock to blast off, and several small bags fell, causing Tom's knife to become lodged in my shoulder. Crap, I said as I looked across at some of the passengers, begging them to help. Instead, they were beginning to attack each other. One man was mauling out his son's eyes and eating them. A woman was digging straight into her face, trying to rip skin off. And 2 children were smashing each other in
Yeah, no, the amounts will be coming.
Into her face, trying to rip skin off and eating them. A woman was digging straight into her face, trying to rip skin off. And 2 children were smashing each other in the stomach constantly with sharp forks. Any time that I had this was on.
Oops, I keep losing my spot on
Constantly
this.
with a sharp fork. And 2 children were smashing each other in the stomach constantly with sharp forks. Any hope that I had that this was all an act died at that moment. Isabella scrambled to search amid the bags as Tom got his bearings, and then she found what she was looking for. It looked like a small briefcase. "Don't!" Tom shouted. I frowned, trying to figure out what the heck was happening, as she put the correct key code on the latches and bolted. Inside, there were 6 coals filled with a growing yellow serum. She grabbed one and rushed toward the Aussie. I crawled out of the way into one of the seats, and she lunged and pierced his neck, forcing the needle all the way in. I saw Tom's eyes dilate and then go completely black, and then he fell to the floor unconscious. I snatched up his knife, just in case things got crazier from here. It was a smart call. Before I got a chance to even ask Isabella what the heck she was doing, she was through the curtain to economy class. I slowly stood up, trying to catch my breath when one of the mutilated passengers grabbed a hold of me, forcing me to stare into their hollow, sunken face. There wasn't even a face there anymore, just a maw with endless teeth. Somehow, they had transformed into nightmarish beings. I pushed it away and tumbled over time to get back to economy class, pausing in between the 2 cabins to go into the restroom. The small room felt so much more claustrophobic than usual. As I locked the door and I looked at my reflection in the mirror. Splashing water on my face, I tried to get a hold of myself and chanted, "It's all in your head, Max. It's all in your head." I gripped the sink for a minute and felt my breathing return to normal, hoping that maybe I was able to come back to normalcy. And then I noticed something shimmer in the mirror. I looked at it for a short moment, frowning in concern, and then my reflection smiled wickedly toward me. A second later, a strong, icy hand emerged from the mirror and gripped my neck. I was gasping for breath as I felt my reflection strangle me, and I reached into my pocket where Tom's knife was still hidden away. I sliced it across the doppelganger's arm, causing strange black slime to bleed out from him.
Oop, lost my spot. Why do these emojis have faces? Yeah, I think they just have like the default emojis on YouTube until they approve other ones.
Causing strange black slime to bleed out.
Okay, let me find my spot. This is interesting
I
so far.
sliced it across the doppelganger's arm. I sliced it across the doppelganger's arm, causing strange black slime to bleed out from him as he loosened his grip and I escaped to the main cabin. I was still trying to make heads or tails of what was happening when I caught sight of the twins. After all that had just happened, I could hardly remember their names. Riley and Tanya. All I knew for sure was that they were both covered in blood, hobbling toward me with heads, knives in their hands, having carved off each other's skulls, blocking my way to first class. I could hear Isabella shouting something to a stewardess as I looked back towards third class. The jetliner was shaking violently again, and I heard the captain announce something overhead. Attention steam. Attention steam. It was shaking violently again, and I heard the captain announce something overhead. Attention, steam gas. We are entering a rough patch, and I advise you to buckle up, he said in a voice that sounded too excited for the coming maelstrom. Suddenly, I was thrust to the ceiling. The twins fell upward as well, their bloody bodies toppling like rag dogs as I found myself unable to avoid sliding into them. The airliner shook, and I slowly moved toward the aisle where this all began, trying desperately to regain my footing. And then I heard a loud growl from the third-class cabin. I shouldn't have looked. Tom's head peered out of the curtain. What followed it was not human. It had a long neck, like a giraffe without skin, and legs that were as wide as the entire cabin, stretching out towards passengers and stepping on them like ants. The legs had mouths like a Venus flytrap, shrieking as the strange creature twisted its body like a contortionist. It clung time the ceiling. Don't listen to a mannequin. shrieking as the strange creature twisted its body like a contortionist. It clung to the ceiling, Tom's pure black eyes looking straight at me, as his chest opened up and hundreds of miniature spidery creatures skittered towards me. Holy crap, Isabella shouted as she entered the room. Tom leapt toward her, shrieking as his mandibles ripped into her chest. The plane started to level again, and I moved down to my seat, desperately trying to find some way off. All I could think to do was break the window. I still had Tom's knife, and my rattled brain told me to give it a try. Reaching toward the window, I raised it up even as I heard Isabella scream for me to stop. I was expecting to see just the darkness of the night. Instead, it was a blinding light, hitting me right in the face as I covered my eyes and tried to hit the window. I heard the glass crack, and I kept going as hard as I could. Suddenly, the screams in the cabin were replaced with the roar of the void. Whatever was beyond the window, I had managed to reach it, and now we were all about to be sucked out. I gripped my seat as hard as I could as alarms began to blare. Tom's gargantuan body was the first to go. It was like watching a camel be shoved through a needle hole. His face contorted, and I heard the breaking of bones. He tried to grab a hold of me, his tongue lapping out and sliding against my face as I heard him mindlessly groan. His front claw grabbed my... tongue lapping out and sliding against my face as I heard him mindlessly groan. His front claw grabbed my hand and I lost my grip. His legs hitting the shattered glass as I felt the roar of the plane against my body. It felt like I was a puppet, being dragged by a massive child. I was gripping the window, looking toward the heavens. I can't describe the impossible things I saw in that sky. This was not our Earth, not our reality. It was a kaleidoscope of universes crashing into one another, exploding in rainbows of colors that I couldn't comprehend. From the endless, ethereal streaks of light and dark, massive tentacles wrapped around the plane like vines, suffocating it. I could see something just beyond the horizon. A maw, the jaws of eternal damnation themselves, ready to swallow me whole. Isabella reached out of the window to grab my hand and struggled to pull me in. I was lost in the gaze of the eyes of the demonic entity that awaited us. As soon as I was inside, I saw that she had another serum prepared, this time for me. "You really should have taken the pill, bud," she warned as she stabbed at my arm before I could get a chance to react. The world spun. I saw her face begin to melt away. In its place was the twins, growing two necks and forming a single monster to grin devilishly at me. And then they faded and showed the geisha woman, except this time her kabuki mask was made of flesh, the remains of her husband. Kabuki mask was made of flesh, the remains of her husband.
Oops, guys, sorry about that. I clicked something off. Said, Twitch, we talked about weird stuff. Wait, where's Professor Pasta? Yeah, I don't know where he is at. I think if we play Among Us, though, he'll hop in at some point. Alright, where were we at?
And forming a single monster to grin devilishly at me. And then they faded.
Okay.
Growing two necks and forming a single monster to grin devilishly at me. And then they faded and showed the geisha woman, except this time her kabuki mask was made of flesh, the remains of her husband. Her long claw-like fingernails dragged at my chest as she removed the mask, and I saw my own mother, her lifeless eyes locked with my own as I fell into an ocean of sleep. I can't remember what happened next. It felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. I was above the plane now, watching as the tentacles of the monster crushed it and swallowed it whole. These streaks of passengers, not just hundreds, but millions from all across reality, being fed into this hungry monster's jaws. And then I was back in my seat. The unfasten your seatbelt sign flashed on, and I gripped my cushion, looking toward the Asian businessman who was now seemingly alive. How was I alive? I looked down on my arm, rubbing the place where Isabella had injected me. It still felt sore. This hadn't been a dream, I realized as I looked around the cabin. The overhead intercom came on again.
Okay, whoever said this was a dream, they flat out called it. I forgot who it was. Somebody called it being a dream, though. I forgot who said it in chat. No, the name of the story is Full Moon Flights.
The overhead intercom came on again.
Full Moon Flights. Blobfish is explicit content. You're right, it is.
The overhead intercom came on again.
Okay.
Realized as I looked around the cabin. The overhead intercom came on again.
Attention passengers, we are about to arrive at our destination. Please remain seated to enjoy the full experience. I felt a squeeze on my shoulder, and then Isabella whispered into my ear. Everything you just experienced was real. It just happened here, yet. You need to find Tom and get off this flight. Now. I was about to turn to her when she squeezed my sore spot harder and snapped at me. Don't look back and don't hesitate. Just run. And then she passed me a gun. Was it the same one that Tom had used before? I wasn't sure. My heart started pumping fast as I unbuckled and moved towards first class. The stewardesses were blocking my way. For some reason I knew they would try to stop me. So I swung the hammer of the weapon straight toward the left one. The two of them slammed into each other, and it sounded like two dummies collapsing against one. The two of them stopped me. So I swung the hammer of the weapon straight toward the left one. The two of them slammed into each other, and it sounded like two dummies collapsing against one another in a store. I pushed past them to enter the first-class seating area. Most of the passengers here were rich, upper class, just like any normal flight. But as I moved down the aisle, I couldn't help but to notice the color was drained from their faces. They were trapped in their seats, unable to move. I reached toward one man to try and wake him, and his skin became as brittle as ash. They are husks, a voice said in front of me. I turned and looked to see a man standing there wearing a pilot uniform, but nothing about him made me feel that he was human. He might have once been, but now all that remained was his memory. What are you doing to them? I asked, my voice trembling as I searched the cabin for Tom. Isabella's warning was ringing in my head, but I still needed to know more. Only what they signed up for. What you've already experienced. You've cheated, Max. Seen the end of the journey and managed to make it back. But it doesn't matter. The fear we can harvest from your soul is endless. You will never truly leave this flight, he said, taking a step toward me. I clenched my fist and cocked the weapon toward him, letting loose a few rounds into his body. It didn't deter the specter. I'm not even sure why I tried after all I had seen. But it did grab Tom's attention. He stood up and moved toward me. What are you doing, man? Do you want to get us both killed? He shouted. I looked toward the gun, my hand shaking as I saw a scar was beginning to form on my arm. Do you want to get us both killed? He shouted. I looked toward the gun, my hand shaking as I saw a scar was beginning to form on my arm. How had it gotten there? I think we might already be dead, I said, passing him the weapon. The ghost pilot was gone temporarily, but Tom warned it wouldn't matter. God, my head hurts. That drug really did a number on me, he said, rubbing the spot where Isabella had injected him. How is any of this possible? I said,
My mouth dry as he led me back through economy class.
Oh, that was a big burp. That's probably the biggest burp so far. Big time burps.
My mouth dry as he led me back through economy class.
Big time burps in this building. Oh, my thing's all messed up now. No.
Last year, bloody...
Let's get this started in here.
I said, my mouth dry as he led me back through economy class. This time, I saw my doppelganger again, sitting there, staring out of the window and watching as the jetliner began to shake again. Tom was rattling off an explanation, or an interpretation of events to me as we moved on. From what I understand, the plane moves beyond the realm of space and this time, an explanation,
Good day, my sir.
or an interpretation of events to me as we moved on. An explanation, or an interpretation of events to me as we moved on. From what I understand, the plane moves beyond the realm of space and time that we know, past the horizon into a new endless dimension, one where pure chaos is born. The people, if they are that who run this contraption, they are feeding a creature, trying to birth it into the reality, this reality that we know of. It's growing stronger, Max. Every new flight is harvesting more memories of reality and fear into it, he said. We were almost to the back of the plane now. No one had stopped us. His explanation made more sense to me as we stood there, and he started to look among the things before commenting. You probably have a dozen other questions about this mess, like how I know all this and why Isabella, if that is her real name, is helping us. I don't know. I came aboard for my own life. She boarded a flight 3 years ago, and I'm gonna find her. He paused and passed me the weapon along with the parachute. But that isn't how your journey ends, Max. You've got a chance to get out. Warn the world if you can. Just don't worry about me. If your wife is trapped here, you'll need to give her the serum that we both took. He nodded, nodding me adieu as he left to search the plane. The luggage compartment was oddly silent as the jetliner shook again and I put on my backpack. I slowly walked toward the back of the plane, near to where the landing gear was stored. It would be the safest place to jump, I realized. I crouched down and gently kicked at the shutters beneath the gear, wondering how strong they were. And then I heard a faint whisper. Someone was there with me. Instinctively, I jolted up and cocked the weapon. Show yourself. From amid the luggage, I saw a shadow move and slither toward me. Eventually, it formed a shape. The ghost pilot. No, it was a doppelganger of my own mother, I realized. Don't come any closer, I warned her. Her eyes looked so watery and full of pain. Max, it's me. I'm real. This is real, all of it, she whispered to me. It can't be. You're dead, I shouted back. I saw you die. That was just one way my journey ended. It doesn't have to be that way anymore, she said with a gentle smile. The journey has shown me so much. We can have a life together, endless amounts of lives. I heard another rustle amid the luggage. It was Isabella coming to check on me. Max, don't listen to her. You have to leave. No, you can't leave, Max. No one can. Board the flight. You are a part of the ship.
Uh-oh.
Board the flight. You are a part of the ship.
You are a part of the ship.
Board the flight. You have to leave. No, you can't leave, Max. No one can. Board the flight. You are a part of the ship. Another voice cackled amid the rafters. My mother raised a welcoming hand toward me. This can be the life we never got together, she pleaded with me. I knew it was a trap, but it felt so inviting. To be able to escape into an endless cacophony of realities, where I could experience the love of a mom I never knew. But none of it would be real, I realized. I steadied my arm and fired straight at her head. The shadow screamed and blurred into 1,000 slithering eels as I realized. I steadied my arm and fired straight at her head. The shadow screamed and blurred into 1,000 slithering eels as Isabella shouted for me to go. I turned and slammed my foot against the landing gear again and again. The black slime oozed toward me, these screeching eels rapidly closing in for a chokehold. And then finally, the metal gave way, and I saw clouds beneath my feet. "Come with me," I shouted to Isabella. After all she had done to help me, it felt like helping her was the right thing to do. "It's too late for me. I'm a part of the ship already, but I'll be here to help people get off every dang time," she responded. I reached for her, ignoring her insistence that she was doomed. But instead, the shadows ensnared her, and I watched as black slime poured into her eyes and mouth. The shadow began to eat away at her body, and I knew that I had to leave. Crawling down the landing gear, shadow began to eat away at her body, and I knew that I had to leave. Crawling down to the landing gear, the rush of air beneath the plane was overwhelming. I heard these screams from the flight roar and didn't hesitate this time. I jumped. Spiraling into the air, I heard the roar of white noise and looked up to see an empty sky, like it had never been there at all. The force of my fall began to increase, and I pulled on my parachute cord, feeling it tug and jolt me up in the air. And then everything began to slow. I was drifting amid the atmosphere. Gradually, I made my way to the surface, tumbling about on the soft ground. As I got my bearings, I was back at the airfield. Standing up, I checked my watch and realized that not a minute had passed since I had boarded. I shook off the parachute and stumbled toward the road, watching as some cars approached. I covered my eyes as one car parked in front of me, and a man dressed in a British explorer's outfit stepped out. "What in the devil have you just been through, my good man?" he asked, clearly startled by my appearance. I saw a couple behind him holding tickets, apparently awaiting an Clearly startled by my appearance, I saw a couple behind him holding tickets, apparently awaiting an up-and-coming flight. I opened my mouth to warn him, and then I saw a familiar face in the crowd. Isabella. I moved toward her, grabbed a hold of her arm and muttered, "Are you real? Is this real?" "Hey, hands off. What's gotten into you, bud?" she said, shaking me off like she didn't know me. I still felt like my head was spinning. "You're here for the full moon flight?" I asked, trying to understand and carefully choosing my words. "Yeah, first time. I heard that there was a scream. You've been on one yourself?" Isabella asked. I didn't see a hint of deception in her eyes. Slowly, I nodded, reaching into my pocket and passing her the pill that she had given me right before I boarded. Only she hadn't done that yet. "You'll need this for the trip," I told her. She gave me a look of puzzlement, and I walked off without another word. I knew there was nothing I could say to even explain how I understood her role now for this. A moment later, I felt a rush of wind and the dark jetliner appeared right behind the hangar bay like it had before. A journey into the unknown, an experience like no other. That's what the reviews say. But that isn't what mine is going to say. This is my review for full moon flights. Don't believe the hype. This event is a killer, and you don't want to become a frequent flyer like me.
Well, that was a long one. So yeah, that was the story. See, I've been doing things on the other brain fart on Twitch, where I do a poll from like 1 to 10. So I'm gonna do the poll from 1 to 10, and you guys can rate what you thought of the story, and yeah, see what you thought of it. So let me get this pulled up right now. Play some tunes for y'all. And let me go to my thing, polls, and start. Now I wonder if it shows up in YouTube or if it doesn't show up in YouTube. Maybe it's only set for Twitch. I don't know. Yeah, I have to do some stuff so it's not showing up. But yeah, I guess just give it a rating in chat. Let me know what you think, either out of 5, out of 10, whatever you're thinking about it. So yeah, I gotta make the make Streamlabs a mod, which I did not do for YouTube, so I have to fix that. But hey, it's working for now, I guess. Getting all the kinks out. But yeah, thank you guys all for who stuck around for the duration of the story. It was a little bit of a longer one, but hey, I thought it was pretty interesting. It was a cool concept. So yeah, now let's just hang out and chat for a little bit. So we got a decent amount of 8s. We got a 69 out of 70. That is tough to beat. We have a lot of 9s, a lot of 8s, a couple 4s out of 5s, so pretty good. I said, yo, that was good. Yeah, whoever said it was a dream, even though I guess it wasn't a dream, but the plane tried to make it seem like it was a dream, they called it, so that was pretty good. How do you change your voice that fast? I don't even know. It's just like, I'm so used to like narrating, and that's just like the tone that I do it in, and then it's like when I get out of it, it stops. I don't know. Like there's no like vocal like voice changer or anything at all. It's just doing it. My dog said it was good. That's good. I'm glad your dog enjoys it. We vibing hard. Let me see if I can do something here. Make this interesting. Witchcraft. Yeah, James, let me put my headphones on real quick. Alright. Let me know if this sounds any different for you guys. Ooh. I'm gonna turn the tunes down real quick. Alright. Let me know if the mic sounds funny. Hey guys. How's it going? Do I sound any different? Or do I not? What do I sound like? Probably nothing. Sound exactly the same. Okay, it didn't work. I have like this, I may have to close it again. I have like this voice changer thing that I just installed like a few days ago. I've been trying to mess with it and see if it would work on stream, but obviously it's not. Let me see this again. Pooper. I may have to add a new source real quick. Yeah, I might have to do something different with that, which I don't think it's working, but yeah. We got a dude from somebody. Hey, Antim Squidward, thank you for the $1.99 dono through Super Chat. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the story if you stopped by and listened to it. But if not, thank you anyways. Yeah, for some reason I can't figure this out. I'll have to mess with it more at some point. Clover, huh? Mr. Creeps, have you seen my story yet? Did you post it in the subreddit? Yeah, Demon Freak's voice mod. Yeah. You gotta get the stream software to pick it up. Huh. Is it like a plugin for Streamlabs or something, I'm guessing? I remember when I was looking at it, I didn't download it, which is probably my issue. Huh, I'll have to... What's the title of it, Clover? Because then I can check it out. Voice mod streamer. Yeah, no, Clover, I actually I read your story in a previous narration stream. I don't know if you're in that one. It was on Twitch a minute ago. So yeah, no, definitely read it, and I think I actually posted it to the channel at some point. I might be wrong on that, but and I just burped again. Hey, Ronnie Hinton, thank you for the $4.99 donation. Said keep it up with a pair lifting some weight, so I appreciate it. Really like the little emote thing. It's cool. Yeah, no, I think shortly too. If anybody's new to the chat, gonna be having memberships for the channel and everything pretty soon. So that'll be opened up as soon as it's approved by YouTube. Which should hopefully be, I think they're pretty good in like turnaround time and everything it said. So hopefully it's within like a day or two or something like that. Then you guys will get all the emotes and stuff. So you have different loyalty badges, and then I think I have 4 emotes right now that I can give access to, and then once more memberships come in, it opens up the emote amount. So I think I can do 4 right now. But yeah, once that opens up, you'll be able to get all the different emotes and everything like that, which will be cool. And then like I said, for this channel, just changed the name to Mr. Creeps Gaming. Pretty original, I know. But yeah, expect more gaming content just in separate videos on this channel. So it should be pretty exciting. Styles, Mr. Creeps, we humbly invite you to a vibe session located in the general voice chat on your Discord server. I'll have to check in after the stream. Maybe do some vibing. You know, I can't turn down a good vibe. Flamer Drake? Of course. Ronnie Hayden, I appreciate you and your work. Seriously, you made my life better. Hey, that's awesome, man. I'm really glad it helped you. I'm glad you enjoy it and everything like that. Handsome Squidward, this is a new channel. I guess out of the 3 channels on YouTube that I got, I guess this is the newest channel. Originally made this as like kind of a channel just to try different things out on. So if you go back through like the video catalog, it's a lot of like top 10 lists and stuff like that that I did. And then recently after that, I played this game called Those Who Remain. Went through that for a little bit. Pretty fun game. And I just recorded gameplay. I wanted to try and see how it would do. It was a fun game, and then after that I kind of just went to streaming most of the time. So I think it'll be something where I probably stream the majority of the time on this channel, and then maybe have like a video out like once a week or something like that. But it'll be like either like an Among Us playthrough or like just other different games that are fun to play that I would play on stream, either with different narrators and different collabs, or just with people in the Discord or subscribers or whatever. Mr. Cardboard TV, I listen to your stories every time I see a new one pop up. Keep up the good work. Hey, thanks for listening to them. I'm glad you like them. Business says, how can my story be on your channel? Yeah, so if you write a story, you can just post it in the subreddit. It's r/Mr. Creeps, and then a lot of times I just look through there and check them out. So yeah, just feel free to submit anything. Jack Littlefinger, what does he say? Your main channel has helped me sleep for the past year. Yeah, I'm glad it's helped. It's really good. I used to, when I would always, before I even started doing like creepypasta narrations myself, I would just listen to them to fall asleep too, so I was definitely in the same boat. Air the Bear, he said, let's go. Smiled so wide when I saw this. Hey, that's good. Doom, 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 doom. And then too, like going forward, I'm gonna try to do just different things with the stream to make it look better. So I'll have different like things pop up on screen for like different socials and everything too, and that. But yeah, this one was pretty much just a pretty basic narration stream, so nothing fancy. But yeah, going forward, it should be fun. Style, Mr. Creeps, what are your thoughts on Danny DeVito? Big fan of Always Sunny, and I think he makes the show a lot, so I like Danny DeVito. But yeah, will you ever do a face reveal? I don't know, maybe at some point, maybe for like a milestone on the channel or something. Right now, probably not. May do a cat reveal. That was like the original when I first started streaming on YouTube. I did like 2 or 3 streams before I moved over to Twitch, and now obviously I'm back. I think I did 4. But my cats would always just like come in and just like mess everything up. They would just like, as soon as I started streaming, they would get on and be like, hey, you're trying to do something now, I'm gonna mess it up. So they'd come over and like crinkle paper, or they'd like, lately they've always been like getting up behind my desk, like on my monitors, and trying to like scoop behind them even though there's no space. And they continuously do it. I don't know what they're looking for, but they're looking for something. So I don't know, it's funny. It's almost Sprite cranberry time of the year. Yes, it is. Mischievous cats. They are very mischievous. Drink of water. Can do an ASMR water drink. That's pretty gross. Now imagine that Sprite cranberry. Mr. Cardboard, check out Escape from Tarkov. It's a hard than. I've actually seen a couple of my friends had played it before. I've played it maybe like 1 time, but yeah, it seems really fun. Definitely heard of it before. Could do like water, or I could go get some like chips or something like that and just chip in front of the mic and just totally turn this into an ASMR session. An ASMR vibe session. I don't even know what would be some good. Dr. Plague, I finished my math test. Yeah, aced it. Can you do a South Park story? I don't know if there are any South Park stories, honestly. I can check it out though. My broken foot fell asleep. How does that even? Like, how do you like make it fall asleep, or do you just have to deal with it? Sort of Pro, I hope all you know that when I ask for ASMR, it's unironic. I love ASMR. Samuel Fulton, love to listen to your videos when I go to bed. I'm glad you like them. Styles, I know I'm not self-promoting. Franklin D. Roosevelt said, I'd rather eat nails than hear ASMR from the YouTuber. I don't know why that made me think of that SpongeBob episode. You eat nails for breakfast without any milk. Dr. Play, this was really relaxing to listen to, and it really helped me focus. Hey, I'm glad it helped. Cardboard, right on, I've got to get back to work. Have a nice day, everyone, and remember, cardboards always watch. I like it. Cool, I'll see you later, Mr. Cardboard. Thanks for stopping by. The Woman of the Woods. That sounds oddly familiar for some reason. I feel like somebody just posted a story about that on No Sleep. I might be wrong, but it sounds so familiar. Don't know why. Mr. Creeps hearing the story narrations make people fall asleep. I mean, it did the exact same thing to me too. I said this on a previous stream, but there was some story that was by Mr. Creepypasta. I don't remember what it was called. It was a really old story about they're on this ship, and it's like haunted by ghosts or something like that, and it's maybe like a cruise ship or something. And every time I would fall asleep at the exact same part. And I think it was like an hour-long story or something. And every time I would fall asleep like 10 or 15 minutes in or whatever. And I think I tried to finish that story for like a month, but I would just fall asleep every time. So it was goofy. But it just happens, I don't know. The bird, I've got a story I've been meaning to tell you, but I can't get on my old Reddit account, and it's real, it happens to me. Huh. Yeah, if you ever get your Reddit thing, find your Reddit account, feel free to post it. Ooh. 19 people have gone missing in her woods. She has a Bigfoot. Where is that located at? Yeah, that sounds really familiar. I feel like that's an actual creepypasta story that just came out like recently. Might be wrong though. Whoa, 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 whoa. I've got the burps going today. Style says, I'm planning on writing a pasta where the guy can't pay the bill so he sells his soul to the devil. That'd be a good concept. I like it. Boss says South Carolina, I think. Huh. It's actually really scary. It's pretty unsettling. Bills, am I right? I've been falling asleep to Dr. Creep, and I believe it was 3 hours long. Never found the part that I fell asleep to. You know, he does a lot of long stories too, so I mean, it'd be perfect for it. Huh. But cool, I think I might call it a stream, you guys. Yeah, wanted to do that one story. It was a rather long one. But hey, it was fun, everybody. Like I said, might be streaming sometime this weekend for Halloween. If not, you guys can catch me back at Tuesday at 2 o'clock. I'll be streaming. Don't know if I'll be reading again, doing Among Us or whatever it might be. So it'll be something like that. But yeah, Tuesday through Thursday, I'll be streaming, and then look for videos out on this channel too eventually. Some sort of Among Us or whatever. But yeah, no, this is cool, guys. Glad to come back to our roots back on YouTube. C-Dog said YouTube or Twitch. Yeah, going forward it'll be on YouTube, just for now. For the time being until, I don't know, decide to switch it again, which probably will happen, but yeah, for now, just on YouTube. And hopefully by that point too, channel memberships and everything will be set up so you guys can get the emotes. And then Dr. Werewolf, I gotta make sure to add your other account to mod. Gotta do that. But yeah, story is out tonight at 6 p.m. And then I got another one at 9 p.m. So still got the double uploads for a couple more days until Halloween. Hope you guys have enjoyed those. But hey, everybody have a great day. Thank you for stopping by. And it's Friday too. Have a great weekend too. So I'll see you guys. Bye bye. Oh, last second. The Christian Gamer donated 99 cents through Super Chat. Hey, thank you so much for the doot. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I'll see you guys. Oh yeah, wait, last second song request for tomorrow, or not for tomorrow, for next stream. What song should I open with? You guys got, I'm gonna count it down. I'm gonna do the countdown. Spam your song requests. When the clock hits 0, this stream is done. Roundabout. Turtle. Christian Gamer, love your channel, keep it up. Hey, thank you. What song? We gotta know before the clock runs out. All I see is Roundabout. 28. Funny. Good one, Bigfoot. Oh no. Mask off. 5, 4, 3, 2.